Welcome, sports bettors at BetRepublic.com's Daily Line. I'm Sonny Palermo, with me Jarvis Symes, and today we're going to take a look at three of the more popular Super Bowl props as we head into the game between the Colts and the Saints. First one up, one of the most popular ones, will either team score 3 straight times? This does not include extra points, so if you score a touchdown and then you kick the extra point, it does not count as 2, that is 1.
We're talking touchdowns, field goals, safeties, right?
Now, this is a prop that in my 7 years bookmaking in Vegas, I've been in on the meetings, the 8-hour plus war sessions where everyone would make their numbers separately. Then we get together, do battle, fight it out, and come up with a number for these props. I've been in the room. I know some of the things that go on behind the numbers. This is a prop that people tend to look at and think automatically, no. They're not. No team's going to score without the other team scoring.
It's supposed to be the Super Bowl. It's going to trade back and forth, right?
So that's what they think, and that no price at $1.45 looks attractive. But there's a reason why the favorite, one team will, is usually favored anywhere from $1.80 to $2.20, $2.40 sometimes, because the yes comes in more often than not. It's not a true sucker bet, but trust me, most of the public walks up to the board, sees the plus price on that note, and they go for it. But looking back on the last 10 Super Bowls now, during the regular season, it does happen, but the last 10 Super Bowls, it's 50-50. 5 times it's happened, 5 times it hasn't. So something that's 50-50, the odds should be pretty much even money.
And you look back at the past 6, too, and they were 3-3. So it is one of those 50-50 type odds, right?
Yeah, and the yes price is $1.75. Now, for the no price, you're getting decent odds. It's something that happens 5 out of the last 10 years, 50-50. But yes, it's kind of outpriced. But then again, remember, during the season, it does happen. And one last caveat, the last time the Colts were in the Super Bowl, 4 straight unanswered for the Colts.
Against the Chicago Bears.
But they had the Bears and Grossman, who you can count on scoring in any situation.
I think with this Super Bowl right away between the Saints and Colts, 2 dynamic offenses, what we're getting is going to throw a curveball into a lot of these props because you got 2 teams that can score points.
Sure. And now, why don't you get shortest touchdown? Why don't you give us?
Another prop on shortest touchdown of the game. Again, this is one that looks good on the over. That's over 1.5 yards because you've got a 98.5 yard field to work with, including kick returns, punt returns, touchdowns of that nature. Shortest touchdown means you got to score from inside 1.5. Let's say score from the 1. Well, if you think it can happen, it can. If you start looking at touchdowns that will be from the 1, then a lot of people think that you're going to be looking for the touchdown that was set up on the 1 yard line because of a pass interference call in the end zone. Looking back over the past 8 Super Bowls, though, we're only seeing one time where a touchdown scored from the 1 yard line was set up on the pass interference call. That was the New York Giants doing the Patriots. Over the last 8 Super Bowls, we've seen 5 times where this prop on the under 1.5 would have worked and 3 times where it wouldn't have. You go to the 3 props where the 3 games in 05, 03, and 02, where the longest touchdown, the shortest touchdown of the game story was longer than 1.5 yards. 05, there was 2 touchdowns scored from the 2 yard line. 03, there was 1 touchdown scored, also from the 2 yard line. And then back in 02, Kurt Warner, greatest show on turf, there was a 1st and goal from the 1. They got bumped back a yard or 2 on the first play, and then Kurt Warner snuck one in for a touchdown that was not from the 1, but it was just pushed back. So really on those 3, it was close. At 5 yeses, 3 nos, I'm looking at this being a good prop. One thing about line movement, though, we're starting to see the bookmakers, as they usually do, get wise to this. And we're seeing this year, to lay the under 1.5, you got to lay 135 on that one. Last year, going back just in retrospect, at the Arizona-Pittsburgh game where there was 3 touchdowns scored from the 1, and the over was 115. So you've seen a little bit of a transition in this prop.
The over should never be the favorite in this one. It happened 3 times last year. None of them were on pass interference. It's happened 5 out of the last 8. It's a prop that I play every year. The 3 years that it didn't, you had 2 2-yard touchdowns, 1 2-yard touchdown, and you had a 1st and goal in the 1 pass interference that they just blew it and got knocked a yard back on 1st down. But it happens quite often. It's a fun prop. Again, I don't play props for big money. They just have an extra rooting interest during the game, have a little extra fun. But I play that one every year. I like that one. I root for that pass interference in the end zone.
Okay, and you've got another one for us, Sonny.
Last one we're going to talk about is another popular prop, the number of players to throw a pass. The number is set at 2.5. You know, right out of the gate, you're going to have Manning throw 1, you're going to have Breeze throw 1. So, anybody else going to throw a pass? Well, in the last 10 years, only twice has there been a third person throwing a pass. Seattle and Pittsburgh, Randall L., if you remember, quarterback from Indiana.
Randall L.
Anton Randall L. was in on a gadget play and threw a pass. Also, back when Baltimore played the Giants, Banks, Trent Dilfer sat out the last possession of the game. Banks threw a pass in the final possession. There was another attempt the year before that, St. Louis, New England. New England had a gadget play where Kevin Falk faked the run, took a few steps back, but the defenders had it covered. They didn't fall for the fake. He pulled the ball in and didn't throw it. So only 2 in 10. So 2 out of the last 10 times in the Super Bowl has more than the starting quarterbacks of each team thrown a pass. That works out to a 20% chance of it happening. 20% chance should equal odds of 4-1 or better. And you can see by these odds, the over 2.5, you're only getting plus 230 is the average price out there. So you're not getting odds that are in correlation with the true odds of what you should getting paid. So you've got a prop that's only happened 2 out of the last 10, and you're not getting paid good odds on it. The only reason I like to play this one sometimes is, A, you root for a gadget play, which probably the Colts did it twice during the year, not so much New Orleans. The thing you root for is the quarterback to get blindsided. Whenever I bet this prop, I sit there and root for either team. I don't care who, especially if I have money on the side. I want to see a quarterback get blindsided and knocked out of the game. So it's a sadistic kind of prop, but it's really not a very wise.
You also got to be careful, though, guys. From Indianapolis, if Peyton Manning goes down, I don't think you can count on anyone throwing a pass because we saw how Curtis Painter played in the last 2 weeks of the season.
Right. So that's it. Tune in tomorrow. We're going to come back. We're going to give you 2 or 3 more props, including one that I just bought today that I really like the averages on, and I like the odds. I like the edge. I like the advantage it offers us. We'll detail that one for you tomorrow at BetRepublic.com.
See you there.